Hello, and thank you for joining the San Diego ATD Get Good with Storyline Workshop. I'm John Morley. I am an instructional designer and external consultant. So if I can help you with the project, my email address is going into the chat window. Now for a word from our sponsors, which are the San Diego ATD and the Southern California ISPI. This time next week. ATD is having an in-person event, if you can remember those from the before time. The topic is unlocking personal motivation for every employee. This is presented by Akshay Satif. He is the founder and president of Zixana Consulting. October 1, if it's the first Tuesday in the month, this must be time for ISPI's first Tuesday online chapter meeting. The topic is AI a fit for your learning and performance strategy? With Lisa Tanagas. She is the CEO and owner of Innovative Learning Group. Very sharp lady. I've spoken with her. This will be time well spent for you if you can log into that. That is Lunch and Learn. And on that same day in the evening, here's ATD with yet another in-person event. They are ready to socialize. The topic is how to prepare your organization for the coming political and social turmoil. And I thought political and social turmoil was already here, but you will be hearing from Mr. Greg Ward, who is founder and executive director of the Center for Respectful Leadership, which is certainly the best kind of leadership to have. Then, if it's the first Friday, it must be time for ISBI's First Friday Roundtable. We will be discussing the article, How Care Washing Alienates Employees, facilitated by Nicole Medina. I was chuckling at care washing. It seems like another new word we need to learn for a continuing nefarious corporate practice. And then next month, third Thursday in the evening, please join us again for a storyline workshop. We have a returning speaker, Joe Waddington, is going to be talking with us about the currently popular AI-powered e-learning and development. No one knows everything about storyline, especially me. So that's why we have these workshop so we can share our knowledge. We're very fortunate this evening to have a returning speaker. This is Samuel Apata. Samuel is a seeker of knowledge and a former president of the Dallas-Fort Worth ATD chapter. He has earned both undergraduate and master's degrees with the University of Maryland, majoring in fine arts, animation, interactive media, and instructional systems. Some of the things we talk about in this very workshop. Currently, he is a senior e-learning developer at Starbucks, and he's also worked at Fossil Group, GM Financial, and Caliber Collision. And he is an all-around good guy because he is not only just finished putting his children to bed like a good daddy, he has also been volunteered with junior achievement and robotics competitions in Baltimore public schools. So with that, I will turn it over to Samuel and look forward to hearing from you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Always a pleasure to be here at Getting Good with Storyline. Just want to give you kudos yourself for putting this together. I don't even know if Storyline knows about this, but you're doing such an awesome work. Just putting that out there. If you're new here or returning, glad to meet you. John already did a fantastic introduction, so I wouldn't add any much more to that. Except maybe that I participate in the e-learning heroes community, along with Jody and a host of others. And we all might be part of that community, I'm not sure, but just awesome to present to you tonight on a topic that's dear to my heart, which is creating puzzles with e-learning. I'll go ahead and share my screens. So the title, again, is Interactive Puzzles with Storyline. Now, a bit of backstory. I have been building interactive elements in Storyline for about 8 years now. What I build can be considered puzzles because I did a bit of research before this presentation to kind of just dig a little bit into what puzzles are and what's considered puzzles. So the best definition I could find out there is really just anything that gets you thinking, that kind of stops you in your track, and that gets the learner thinking about a particular topic or how they can solve it is considered a puzzle. If we're going more the traditional route, then we would think about jigsaw puzzles, for example, click and reveals. Those are all simplified types of puzzles. So for today, I really just want to talk about some puzzles that I've built over the years, just so I'm not, and this is an interactive session, right? So let's talk about it a little bit. Like, why do we use puzzles in e-learning? If anyone wants to chime in, I've put in my
It's
thoughts.
like a fun way to interact with the content, stimulate thinking about the topic in a new way, maybe. That would be a reason to try it.
Yeah.
And be a good source of reviews. So after presenting some content, give the learner a puzzle to which they have to apply the content to solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
It's like a game too, like just increasing motivation, like wanting to finish a puzzle.
So I'm hearing gamified elements already. So puzzles are a way to gamify your e-learning, make it more engaging. And as I've learned from a number of podcasts out there, engagement necessarily isn't, or interactivity isn't necessarily engagement, right? So just because it's a click and reveal does not mean the learner is engaging with the content. So just something to think about as we build engagement into our courses. How are we placing those? Are we using the interactive elements to drive engagement as opposed to just interactivity? So one thing that maybe has prevented me from creating even more puzzles is accessibility, and we all know what that is, right? So how do we make elements like puzzles interactive? How do we ensure that they're keyboard accessible and can be used by all learners and not just
And not being
learners?
able to click and drag is a real
Right.
challenge to overcome if you need to make your puzzle completely accessible.
Exactly. Storyline actually has a number of updates coming up. So they're adding some interactivity to the drag and drops. John, can you pause? I have someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. It was quick, I promise.
Stop sharing your screen for a moment, and we will get. We can talk among ourselves here. See what's
Well,
going.
I would just he was just talking about accessibility, and I was one of those people that I wasn't that empathetic to people like who had issues. Like, to me, it was if somebody said, oh, people can't use a mouse. I'm like, what do you mean they can't use a mouse or they can't drag? Like, I just had never encountered it myself until I wrecked my arm and my neck. And then anything I touched with a mouse just killed me. So just hearing, Samuel talk about that, and like if I were to see a drag and drop in a course, I'd skip it because I couldn't even ring a doorbell for
Oh
a
my
year.
goodness. Oh,
And so
poor
just
thing.
yeah, it was bad. So the whole issue was so remote to me until it happened to me. And so now it's like I have so much more empathy. And Samuel was the first person when I joined the community that I ever saw use keystrokes to maneuver around a screen. And I thought, oh, I'll never need this because, you just drag and do this. But every time I create something with a keystroke, I think of him because to me, like, he's the guru of it. So
there we go.
yeah.
Samuel, are you back among us?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, all yours, man. Take it off.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that, Jody. Just I thought about that as well while putting this together. So it's a great thing you mentioned it. So yeah, accessibility definitely is something to consider as we build, and I'm glad the technology is finally catching up. So Storyline should be coming up with a drag and drop that is more accessible, or at least keyboard accessible. Here, it's the point in the presentation where we switch it over to Storyline. And what we'll be talking about first is how I built this drag and drop, which is it's a jigsaw puzzle. I think I try to make it as kid friendly as possible. So forgive me if it's too rudimental, but so this was actually inspired by DevLearn. So this is the MGM Hotel in Las Vegas, which is a venue for DevLearn this year.
How did you get that jigsaw pattern on there? Is that something off the shelf, or did you have to draw that?
Right. Yeah, good question. So, and that's something I've been scratching my head for throughout today, because I built this a while ago and couldn't quite remember how I came up with the jigsaw. But I feel like there's a free program out there that I used, but just to kind of, there are ways around it. So this may feel a little bit more tedious to do, but what I did was, find a pattern over on the internet, and you could actually just place that pattern on top of your photo. And, here I've kind of just stretched it out. So I just go ahead and use what I already imported, but I just kind of stretched it out, then selected each block. So this is a more tedious process. I'm sure a program like Illustrator might have something that you can kind of automate and do an action for, but if not to say you can't do it manually if you wanted. So you would just select, I'm just assuming everyone knows how to use Photoshop.
So you just knock out everything that's white?
Yeah, pretty much. So
Okay.
when you select just one item, you could do a Control-Shift-I, which selects everything else, and you can delete that and just kind of save each. So you can select that, and this is, like I said, it's a very manual process. That this one is, if I still find a way to get the material I was working with, I'll be sure to share it. But
Oh man, that is a lot of work, a lot more than I was kind of envisioning. You go to the filter menu and click on something and it appears.
right.
No.
Yes. No, it was so easy when I did the demo that I presented. It was easier. It was a tool that I used that just kind of knocked it off into separate files. I didn't have to do a lot, but I have to find that website and couldn't find it. So
Okay.
forgive me there. So if you were to do it manually, it would be this way. So maybe hiding that and then isolating this and doing the same thing. Yeah, and you can, just kind of save each piece, which would take a while, but it's possible, depending on how determined you are or what the purpose is.
Think at my job, I don't have like a Photoshop. I don't have any Adobe licenses, but I think PowerPoint now does the thing that Illustrator does, where you can like put a shape on top of a shape and then like subtract or so there's a way to do it in PowerPoint too, but it would be one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a good solution as well. And just to kind of try it out, just so we have an idea what we're going to build, I'll just run through it. Basically, this is the reference image, and I call this clues, but I think they're more just pointers on what to look out for. So you have the MGM logo, and it could be a way to inform your learner about, just thinking about the use case as well. Like,
Oh, cool.
it could be a way to educate your learners about the image or the location. So notice how the blue skies kind of just fade out, and notice the hotel building notice the statue. And, once you feel like you have a good grip, you can click on start, and that just hides that layer and presents the puzzle. So it's already out of place, which it's a drag and drop. So you can set it where it's just out of place at the start. And I'll attempt to solve this in 2 minutes.
The real
Just to test
challenge.
my own. Right. So who has a timer? If you want to time me.
I'll time it.
Okay.
I'll use my phone, so,
All right. Awesome.
okay.
Yeah. John, now would be a good time to play your music, but no.
Okay, I'm starting it now. You're on 2 minutes now, so you got a little bit of a head start, so.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure I'll need it. So as I go through this, I'm wondering what are these icons for. I can click on this and it brings up the image so I can spy it a little bit just to make it easier for the learner, right? So now I know the MGM logo is right there. And I can also click on this ghost guy, which brings up
Oh,
the
that's cool.
image as a background. It gives me a bit more guide. All right.
Did
Yeah,
you come
sorry
up
about the music. I just discovered that I'm not
Yeah.
able to share music while you're sharing the
fine.
screen. But
Sam, did
Yeah,
you
I
come
don't
up with
think
the
the music would
idea?
make it any easier for me.
More pressure. Did
Okay,
you
you
come
got
up
a
with
minute left.
did you come up with the idea for it, like an e-learning heroes challenge, or just like for
Yes,
this
just for the
presentation?
e-learning heroes challenges.
Okay.
Most of what I build are for the challenges. Um, yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't build anything. I kind of need to be prompted to build
Yeah.
anything. So yeah.
Was the challenge, like, was the prompt puzzles? Do you
I
remember?
forget which one. It might have been something about around drag and drops, around using drag and drops.
There was a drag and
Jody,
drop
do you
one this
remember?
summer, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Did you do it, Jody?
I did it, yeah. 14 seconds, do.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, that's together. All right.
Oh,
I'm just stalling. I think
okay, you were just
I'm actually not stalling.
okay. There's
This
2
is me
minutes.
failing. So I need to, shut that down.
Okay, you're up.
3, 2, 1. No.
Okay.
Anyway, you get the idea.
darn
Are you
close.
dragging those onto like a drop zone, like individual drop zones, or is it one big drop zone, or what's the,
Yes.
how do you
That
win?
was
I guess
that,
like,
that was going to be my next question.
oh, okay.
So I'm glad you kind of thought ahead about it. So here's a more simplified version of. So this is what we're kind of going to build, and this is just using 4 tiles instead of all that convoluted interaction that I have. So this is just using 4 of the tiles. And so let's see what we can do with this.
Okay.
And the way that I've built this is to make this a drag and drop. And that's just, so these are all separate elements, each on their own, well, not layer, but they're on the slide, and they're all named. So this is 001, 002, and so on. So we have a drag item, which is this. So then we need a drop item.
Oh, I
And
see.
the
what
way
you're
I
doing.
did the
Okay.
drop item was to select them all, copy and paste. And we can use the top one. So just kind of make sure that, well, you don't have to make sure they're in the same line because they're going to be dragged anyway. So I'm going to move this over and then select these and turn these into, make them transparent pretty much. So those become the drop zone, I guess.
Oh, yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
see what you did. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just it. So you go to insert, go to convert to freeform,
Mhm.
select drag and drop, and then try to pair. And Storyline does a good job of showing you this preview where you're able to see what you're doing. So, but if you numbered it correctly, it should be easier. So 001 should match to 001. 002 should match to 02, and so on.
Cool.
So you just took your drag items and
Right.
copied and made matching drag
Exactly.
zone twins
Exactly.
of each one. Okay,
Exactly.
got it. Okay, and you made the drop zones transparent.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then you kind of weave them together so they know where they're going to, or you know which one matches which one. And this is all done in the form view. So when you return to the slide view, you can immediately even just test the concept to see how it works.
Now, understanding what you just showed us, I don't understand what you were doing earlier to move around these shapes out of where they were to be initially, where they started out initially.
Yeah. Yeah, I can totally go over that.
Yeah, what were you doing there and why were you doing that?
Yes. So I'm trying to back up a little. Sorry, I was just feel like I skipped a step. Maybe not. I'll just return these to what they were.
This looks like something you could teach AI to do.
Right, right. So pretty much what I had before was these guys over here, which I'm going to dial back the transparency so they're all visible.
Right.
And I can delete this actually. So we're trying to set up this puzzle, and we're thinking of it as a drag and drop, right? Where if you match a shape, you can trying to find the words to describe what I'm doing. So
I mean, it looks like you're trying to set up your, I don't know, maybe you got 16, 20 different drop zones, right?
exactly.
Okay, so you're laying out all your drop zones.
Right. So right
Okay,
now these are all the tiles that we're
yeah,
looking to make a drag and drop out of. And if you copy those tiles, so just right click and copy and then paste, now you have 4 new sets of items, which, because this is already in place, we'll make this the drop zone.
mhm,
So by the time you turn it into a drag and drop, you can always match this guy to that guy. But we don't want to leave this visible, right?
mhm,
Because it kind of defeats the purpose or it makes it too easy.
yeah.
So what we'll do is to make this transparent. So it's still there, and I can maybe give it an outline. I don't know if that's possible, just so we
Yeah.
see that it's still there.
I feel like an outline would make it
Right.
easy to like see exactly where it goes.
Yeah.
Or at
Correct.
least when you're
Or like
building, just make it a color. So, and then when you're done getting everything in place, then you can just make it transparent so you can
Right.
see it. So, okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe even just not dial it all the way so it's
Yeah.
still
just like a
transparent.
shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I
Can I-
can hide this guy so it's not in the way.
Mhm.
I still don't understand why you had to drag it over to the right. Can't you just duplicate the image and then down on the timeline make invisible the one that you're not going to make
Yeah.
transparent?
Yeah, I mean, we can still leave it. We can leave it over here, but just for clarity and it doesn't really matter because it's going to be all over the place. when you start the slide, because it's a drag and drop, it wouldn't stay in place, if that makes sense.
Oh, right, right. So
Yes, yes,
you want it to be all scrambled by the
exactly.
oh,
That's right.
okay. Never
Exactly.
mind.
Yeah, so this is even to I would even, just place this in different spots so it's all scrambled, because the goal is to return these to their exact spots.
Okay.
And so now we're trying to define that relationship between drag item and drop item. So we're going to say, number one, you're going home to number one, which is a drop zone. Number two, you're going to number two, which is a drop zone, and so on. Any questions?
Yeah, when you set this up, I remember at some point you have a choice of whether you stack the items or they have to register or
Yes.
something. Well, you
Yeah.
what what did you choose for that?
Yes. That's all here. So the drag and
Options. There
drop
we go. Okay.
items, and you can choose to return the item to the dropped. If it's dropped outside of the correct response, you can choose to return it to the original position, or and so on. You can also snap the item to the drop target, and you can stack them randomly. You can have them free. I think free is what we already have. Um, and this deals with the feedback. So these are all options. It's just a matter of preference. But let's see what it looks like when we preview the slide. Yeah, so it's all scattered. So they're related, but they can't find their way. We rely on the learner to actually help with that. So if I were to drop it on the wrong spot, well, probably needed to have checked that option, which I didn't. I'll go back and say correct. So that's telling the tile to return if it's not dropped on the correct item. So this is the correct one, but I'm not going to drop it there. If I were to drop it outside, it goes back to the original spot. But
Or
if I
you
were
could
to drop
choose
it,
to leave it where it was placed incorrectly and let the learner figure it out.
yeah, you could do that too. Yes, yes, that would probably be the preference actually. But just for illustration purpose, if you were to drop it on the correct, it stays in place. But if you were to drop it outside, it goes back to the spot. All right. Are we good to go? Proceed? Yay, nay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That,
All right.
that makes a
Awesome.
lot of sense.
Yes. So this is just using 4 tiles. It gets a little more complicated if we had those 32 tiles that I had. And, so you already have your puzzle figured out. There's really nothing else to do. So these are all this is just making it easier for the learner. And this one is really just displaying this picture, which this X
Oh, the
shape
reference. Yeah.
isn't. Yeah, this close button, I had some trouble with creating a close button. So I just put in the X, which is just part of the shape. And I have that hidden unload. So this guy brings up this guy, and this guy just needs to be clicked to turn it back to normal, which is a hidden state.
Did you consider doing like a layer for it? Can you do layers on like graded
Yeah,
slides that are?
yeah, you can totally do layers, but it gets, well, yeah, you can do layers. Yeah, a layer would probably be a better solution for this. I think I was being lazy or I didn't want, okay, so the reason I didn't use layer was because the layer actually stays on top of the drag and drop. So you'll notice that right here, if I were to play the slide, it's behind all of the tile. Because if I didn't have the, so if it were to be a layer, it would cover that part, and that part is, I'm
Oh,
kind of losing real estate at that point.
like you couldn't look at the reference picture and do the puzzle at the same time.
Well, if you
If you did a
cleared,
layer,
if you cleared, sorry, go say your question again. I don't think
if
I
it were
caught.
a layer, I guess I'm just like thinking out loud. If you did a layer on top of the puzzle, you couldn't look at the reference picture and do the puzzle at the same time.
Right.
That
Yes,
makes sense.
yes. I
That
don't
makes
think
sense.
so. You would have
You
to
know,
hide it.
I
Exactly.
played that game, that Jigsaw Puzzle Explorer, and when you
Yeah.
need to see the reference picture, it's almost like it light boxes
Yeah.
the picture and then you close it off. But yeah, you're never seeing at the
Yes.
same time.
I
So
guess if you wanted to like test
yeah,
people's memories,
yeah.
then it's good.
No.
Yeah. And there's several ways around it. It's just how much control you want to give to the learner. And I think I even came up with a way to give, like, show the number of accuracies, or it had like let's say 100% was the final accuracy. If for each time you drop the tile in the correct spot, it would add like 10 points to that tally. And if you were to drag it away, it would deduct 10 points from that tally, which was just taking it to another dimension for the learner. Yeah, as much help as we can. We just need to put those in place. But yeah, that's really just how this was built. I know I have a couple more puzzles to get through. So is anyone feeling confident to try this out, or
Well, what's the little
did I just make
Pac-Man
it more
ghost
difficult than it
icon?
is?
Well, what does the little Pac-Man ghost do down in the lower left-hand corner?
Yeah, so that's just showing the reference image. So it's showing the reference image, but this
Oh,
time not on the side, it's showing it behind it, so you can actually just
ooh,
see the reference and drag it
uh-huh.
there.
That's really cheating.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, absolutely. So I'll move on to the next puzzle, which is really just a simple one. It's one that actually I'm going to throw that question out and ask how this was built, if anyone wants to take a shot. So how do you think this was built? The goal is to get as close to the shadow as possible, so you're almost catching Luna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like it animates back and forth, and do you set up like a trigger to have the animation stop when you click?
Um,
Maybe.
yeah,
And
And then it's a
that could
hotspot.
work. That could work, but it's actually much simpler than that.
motion path,
Anybody want to try it?
a motion path,
Sorry, say that again.
a motion path.
No, no. So it's actually a video. So
Okay.
you're right about the animation, and
Mm.
so really what it is, well, it's not a video. Sorry, I've created this a long time ago. So it's actually a motion path.
It is
So
a
it is a
motion.
motion.
It is a motion
You were
path. Sorry.
right.
Yeah, I was thinking it's a video because so the way I thought about it, if you add a video inside a storyline, you can, if you don't put a film over it, you can actually click on the video and have it pause. So that was the first thing I did when I did this. So I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So if I were to add a blank page, for example, and I'll just bring in a random video, which maybe not that one. Yeah, I'll just bring in a random video. And if I were to play this and click, it stops, right? So the video stops. So I was thinking maybe just have an animation that's going back and forth. So every time you click it, it's just kind of stops in place. But then the problem became there was no way to record
Like the location of the object.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not dealing with an object, you're just dealing with a video. So it worked in theory, but it wasn't practical. So this was the solution, was to use a motion pad that's going. So you're right. Sorry about that.
So
a motion pad.
Is this still a, what's the word I'm looking for? Does it still give you like a pass or a fail kind of thing? What's the word I'm looking for?
Yes, it could give you a pass and fail, and I think it actually does that. Well, it doesn't. I don't think I got that far. It was just meant to be a simple interaction where.
But that could be your endpoint as well, is that if you really wanted to give someone a point, maybe you could have, I don't know, a couple of different areas, and the closer or the further away that they get and they stop in the area, the more or less points they get, or they only get a congratulations if they're, really, really right on it. Otherwise it's a fail. So that could be okay. That could be a free-form slide basically as well if we wanted to.
Yes. I can even see where you maybe use a shape to just kind of maybe have some random shapes, and every time it intersects with, maybe you copy this and paste it and just have different levels of accuracy where if it intersects or with a particular shape, it becomes, congratulations or something. Yeah, but it was meant to be more like a fidget, like something you just pass time trying to solve and never actually solve it, right?
So you're using that trigger that is triggered when one shape fits into another shape.
Yes. So I'm saying pause the timeline if the user were to click on picture 2, which is lunar. So all it's doing is pausing that timeline. So the timeline is going back and forth, and it looks like Luna
run off.
Just
Don't like you anymore.
Yeah, we lost Luna there. Okay, so that's not the real slide. Okay, so
Oh,
this is actually
okay.
built out of, it's jumping from slide to slide is what's happening.
So you could technically stop the motion when you clicked anywhere on the page as well, in order to be like, get her in the right place rather than catch her with your mouse. I think that's what I was thinking, which is the way you've set it up is that you catch Luna with your mouse, right?
Right.
It's not clickable until she's in front of you.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Whereas I was thinking of it you would click to stop her and try and get her like as close to the middle as possible, sort of idea. That was what I was thinking more.
Yeah,
that's cool. Those are cool, fun things, though. Like that.
Yeah. I might try to, update it based on that suggestion. But yeah, that's how this was built.
What are the triggers can you like walk us through or just explain all of the triggers that you have?
Yes. So Luna is moving through the motion path, which we just saw. So it's going back and forth. And then it's saying,
how do you get the motion path to continuously go back and forth? I think I wasn't sure how that would be. Is that another trigger, or does that do it all in one go in the motion path kind of options?
Yes, I'll show you that in a second. So that's reversing the path. You can go to path options and I don't think I used that. So it's more Um, sorry, this is an
Is that like a
extra.
repeat or something like that?
Yeah, you can like, um,
Right.
so move picture 3 along the motion paths. That's the first one. And then you could, if you want to move picture 3 along motion path 1
Right.
when the animation completes, right? So we'll
Yeah.
just keep coming back
Yes.
It's like one
on the
trigger at
right,
each
but you
end.
just have to figure out how to get it to go in and out. Right.
Right. Yeah, so it
What,
looks
what
like
happens when you click on path options? If you click on the path itself,
on the pop option,
the path.
on the path option.
Yeah, sorry, excuse my accent.
Yeah,
Let
click
me
on the
do that.
path.
So
Yeah, click on the path itself, maybe, and then the options. Is it
Yeah, there we
that?
go.
What about the
okay, so
direction
I
and the
hadn't
speed?
selected the path. Okay, that makes sense.
The direction and the speed, are they like, there you go, in and out. There you go. That's what it
Right.
is.
Yeah, that's just easing in and out,
There you
I
go.
believe.
So it's basically saying it's continuing to go from one in and out, right? It's the
Right.
direction that's making that happen, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right here. I don't see it. So it's jumping to the next slide when
It's
timeline
not a
ends.
trigger that's making her go back and forth. It's that path option, I think.
Yeah, I think it's jumping from slide 1 to slide 2, is what it is. So every time it ends here, it goes to slide
Oh,
2.
so she goes one way and then she goes the
Right.
other and the other
Exactly. And then she
side.
goes the other way. And yeah, that's what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah. Yeah. All these years and I still can't catch Luna. Yeah, she's quite elusive.
She your nemesis.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, so that's how that was built. I would probably try something different now. I don't think we had those options when I built this, so I definitely could use a reverse path instead of jumping from slide to slide. So yeah.
Very
So
cute little fairy, by the way. Did you create that?
no, actually it was just something I found on the internet. Just decided to rebuild. Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah. So I'm going to move on to the next one, which is sound puzzle. And this one's pretty basic. It's just built off of the a soundboard, which Melissa and Doug, I think.
Mhm.
So if you were to, and it's got sound. I'm really not sharing the sound right now, but just imagine if you were to drag each piece, it would say what it was, or it would say what it is. So if you were to drag each instrument into place, and it's a drag and drop. So you're just dragging each one, and it says what it is. Yeah. Can you hear the sound? No.
Mm-mm.
No sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to select that when you share
Right.
your screen to
Yeah. I can quickly do
click
that.
it. Yeah, you can de-share and reshare, and be sure to click the share computer sound when you select the share.
Yeah. I think it's so it's
Tuba.
There you go.
Tuba.
I think
and
that's
it
a
actually plays
coronet.
the sound.
Cool.
Yeah.
Trumpet.
Yeah. It's
Violin.
very simple, but
That's cool.
effective, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, this would be
Very,
great for kids.
it's like
Yeah.
Sesame Street. It's great.
Drum. Harmonica.
Yeah. So pretty basic drag and drop. Um, do you want to go over this or I feel like everyone knows what this is already.
I think so. I'm just interested in like the scoring, how you
Yeah,
manage
yeah,
those things, and what your
yeah,
the state of the pictures. Can you just like
yeah.
quickly look at
Yes.
that?
So these are just like we did for the jigsaw puzzle. This is actually a jigsaw puzzle if you think about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was graded out or added a bit of gradients to make it look like, but it's actually just a replica of this. So this is the drop item, and that's the drag item. And for the scoring, I added a variable that's score, and really every time this is dropped, it adds a value 1 to the score. Yeah, and that's it. And it also sets it to disable, which so you can't move it out of place. Once you've solved it, you've solved it. I think that's important too, because if you let the learner, able to drag it, they could get higher than 10, which defeats the purpose.
Well,
Yeah.
what's with the layers for drag and drop? Don't both the item and the target need to be on the same layer?
I know, right? I was wondering about that too. So,
And what is that?
yeah, this is just sound. It's not
Audio
yeah,
layer. Yeah.
Oh, the
That's-
audio. Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Sure. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
slick.
Well,
That's
that's an
good.
interesting way to do that. Yeah, I didn't think about putting sound onto a layer.
Mhm.
Right.
You don't have to have all the sounds. It's sitting in your timeline, I
Right.
suppose. Do you know what I mean as well?
Right.
That's a really
Exactly.
cool idea.
Yes. And it also you can prevent learners from clicking on the base layer and have more control when you do it. For improvement, I would likely change the feedback layer. This looks too generic. I would maybe added something else.
It looks like you didn't even use them anyway, I don't think. I don't think they came up in the end anyway. You don't use
Yeah.
any triggers to them.
You could have all the instruments playing together, like
Right.
on a success layer. That'd be kind of like
Right.
a symphony.
Yeah, some Mozart for you.
Right.
You mentioned that once you drag like the tuba away from the tuba shape and then you put it back, you can't get points for that twice.
Exactly.
How do you do that?
Piano.
Yes. So, okay, let me make sure that is true. So you have 1 point in, yeah.
No. You get the extra point.
Okay. So let me see if it actually goes past 10 points.
It
Just
will.
to-
I mean, it probably isn't. If you haven't limited it, you probably didn't.
Right.
How would you do that?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the way I would do that is probably to say, and it was meant to disable it, which it didn't. When the user drops, let me get into. So that is our picture 5, set state to disabled when the user drops. Picture 5 on picture 14, which
The wrong one.
so that state
right
should have
one?
been disabled, right?
Oh. Mhm.
Um,
Could you just literally put the triggers the other way around? Is it as simple as that you need to put it to disabled and then add the score? Do you know, maybe it doesn't understand, or what's the next trigger?
so
Maybe it's
the
the
next,
order of the triggers. Sometimes that messes you up like code.
right?
Oh, show layer piano. Oh yeah,
Okay.
okay, that makes sense. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, one way I could maybe think of again is you might need to have a different variable for each one, which, if you're working with 10, it might not be a lot. So have a separate variable, so maybe score 1 to score 10. So each time.
Sammy, just an
Oh.
alert. What we're about to run out of hour here. I'm happy to
Sorry.
stay as long as you're happy to keep us entertained here. This is
Okay.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I think you would you would just have to do like a true or false. So change
True
the
or
state
false.
of the object to true, only add
Right.
the thing if it's true.
Yeah, like a
If
condition.
if it's false, or when it becomes false, remove the score kind of thing.
Right.
You'd have to just
Yeah.
have it's just long little
Yeah.
triggery bits that if you really wanted to get serious about those points.
Yes.
Not
It's a
letting
serious puzzle. So
Right.
okay.
Or
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
or you
Yeah.
could have them lose a point if they move it off of the
right.
target.
No, I think that's the way it would
Yeah.
have to be.
Right. Right. Yes, that's it.
Is
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
when it moves away from picture 14.
Right.
What does losing focus mean? I've always not really understood that as far as the triggers are concerned, although I see it quite often and it looks really useful. What does when object loses focus, you know? I don't get it. Or is that too big a question to ask right now?
Is it
Sorry,
when
what
you're
was your
like
question?
not
There's often times when I see like cute little things like this. It's like, do this when the object loses focus. And it's often doing something really clever. And I often think
Right.
I understand it at the time. But I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, I've got no idea what it actually means
Yeah.
when an
Right.
object loses focus.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
This actually
I
solves it. So when the intersection ends, I think, or
True, subtract value.
yeah, this should solve it actually
There you
with the
go.
target object, which is 14, I believe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
that's really good.
Yeah, that should solve it.
That's a decent one. I know.
Yeah. So
Piano.
that's one. And that takes it.
Hey.
Nice. Oh, very clean.
Yeah. We did it. Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. So I'll just, in the interest of time, in 1 minute, I'll just quickly go over the final one, which is PN. And this is actually my favorite, so sorry.
The best for last. Okay.
But you're welcome to, maybe I have all of the download files and everything, if you want to take a look. So it's really just the, classic PN, the donkey's tail. And I've lost my fonts. I'm a little upset about that. Like it has this Texas font, which, really adds to the theme, but I'll go ahead and play it.
Ooh. Suspense.
Easy, hard. Let's start with easy. So, I think anybody can do this.
All right, that's
Nice.
more like it. I can dunk you on another whirlwind adventure. Ain't no stopping us now.
Who knows what movie that is?
Shrek.
Come to America.
Shrek.
Shrek.
Shrek,
Obviously.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can reset it, and you can even go blind. So
No.
now you have to, and this is what it is, right? You have a shield on your
Yeah.
face, and you're trying to pin the donkey.
Oh,
And
that's cute.
That's smart.
who knows what
That's
commercial
very
that is?
I like that.
What commercial is that?
I feel like I know.
What?
I don't know.
All right. Yeah, let me just.
Not quite. That's over his eyeball.
It's a Geico commercial.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was gonna do the tough one. Okay. Yeah. So now it gets tougher because you can't see the donkey, right? So you almost have to guess where it is.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh.
That is hard.
Horrible. What did you do?
What are the clues?
So that just tells you where the
Oh,
donkey
you
could
don't
be.
That's cute.
But now you're still not solving it because now you
Right.
still have to guess which donkey it is.
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
just
so
fun,
this-
isn't it? Have that.
Yeah, so this one's a little more involving. I'm using drag and drop at the same time, using drop regions, using different, so I'm using random variables to control So it's picking up a random variable between 1 and 5 every time you hit reset. So depending on which variable gets picked, so you almost have to match the variable with the drag, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's conditional. So when you drag this item to that item and the variable is 5, you show success. If it's not 5, then yeah, it's what it is.
Oh
And it's just one variable.
Okay.
So, yeah.
gosh.
Can you show a trigger with the variable?
Yeah, so it's show layer incorrect when the user drops the object on that, and random donkey is the variable if it's not 2. So, and then you have another trigger that's saying set random variable to oh yeah, there should be a trigger saying set random variable to between 1 and 5 when the timeline starts on the slide.
So so that trigger sets a random variable, and then how does it know when it matches?
So it doesn't know when it matches, but it's saying when you drag this item to this item, the condition is this needs to be 5 when.
Is it a group of items? Is that why? Hold on. How does the drop area know which donkey? It doesn't, right? There are no donkeys. There's only drop areas. No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense actually.
It's correct when it drops it on 5, and like 5,
Right.
the 5 part is random.
And the number was selected. So I can, this is the variable right here. So if we were to bring this stage and preview it. So it's telling me that it's on 2, right? So this guy should be correct. But if so if I were to go here.
So that variable is choosing which drop zone is the active one,
Exactly.
right? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And then, sorry, I've not used random variables before. So then how does it know that 2 is the right?
Right.
It shows the correct layer.
Right. Let's see if there's anything else in there that's doing that. So you're setting random donkey to that. You're also showing layer correct. So so it's showing the layer when
Show layer correct.
Yeah,
when
it
the
looks like there's
user
no
drops.
conditional statement where there should have been a condition. I don't think we had the else function when I built this, so so we only had the condition. But yeah, I mean, you can always just set the else statement now, where it's just just saying if it's not 2, then take it to incorrect. Well, for this one, it's so I think this is is not equal to is what's acting as an else statement in this case, because it's saying if it's not equal to 2, then show.
Oh, I see. So it's like you set the random number,
right,
and then if it's not
Exactly.
equal to that random number, you're going to get the incorrect.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody's head works differently.
Right.
On
Truly.
this, like everybody's
You have to explain
logic
it.
is
Yeah. You might actually just be able to set you use states now instead of and not complicate things too much. I mean, it's good to show the scores, but that the simpler ways to do it. And this one is just almost the same. This is just saying the hotspot is outside. So if it's clicking, so this is the correct one, this will be incorrect. So if it's dropped outside of this hotspot, then incorrect, show incorrect. Everybody clear on that?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, awesome.
Are you
Yeah,
able to, are you able to send us these files as well? So
yes, totally.
that'd be amazing.
Totally, they're actually available. So, and that was going to be the last part of my presentation. If you have any questions, that's how to reach me. My website actually has all of the files. So everything I've built and storyline for the e-learning challenges are actually available for download.
Yeah, so generous of you.
Awesome, thank you.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you just have to search for, I think, Donkey. So yeah, I don't know if I have the donkey one, but I'll add it. No, it should be
Love
there actually. So it's yeah. So this is it, but I think it's under gaming interactions. Yeah, that's Catch Lunar. You can download it.
And I'll make a recording of this. This is being recorded. I'll make that available once I edit it, because there's a lot of things in here that don't make sense or are not of value if you're watching the recording rather than seeing it real time. Just let me know and I'll send you the link.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you.
Be at least I learned a lot from you guys. So hope you got something out.
Yeah, thanks. These are awesome examples.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. That was very
great.
interesting. You did
I'll
some
just
good
say,
work
like
there.
Samuel, like every time he posts something in the community, I always look at his. I've learned so much from him. And like I said, everybody's head works differently. And it's like good to see, everybody else's logic, because you go, oh, wow, that's so much easier than how I was doing it.
Yeah, the
So
process.
it's really good.
Yeah, there are many ways to make it more difficult.
Yeah.
So
Always go for simple. If it's inbuilt, it's probably best and customized, and you can go crazy a lot of those things, but always try to keep it simple. Yeah.
nice to meet you all, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
So John, how are you doing just out of curiosity, since we're already over in Zoom, how are you putting yourself in front of your screen here? Yeah, how are you doing that? Is that like a Zoom setting or?
Yes, that is a Zoom setting. Let's see if I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm already sharing my screen. I have to de-share my screen and then go into, how do I share a screen of a screen? When you go into, well, I can't share this while let's see if I can do that. Okay. There's share that. Okay. Now I go into, don't need to see that. That's my script. So if I go into share, well, it just takes me back to this. Anyway,
It's in the share
yeah.
area though. I'll have to
I
look
know.
at it.
I can do a screen grab here.
I think it's just like an option now, and like you
Yeah,
can
Is it?
yeah,
yeah, there's a little icon with like a person in front of a rectangle. I've never
Okay.
Yeah.
tried
In
this
the
before.
share screen or?
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
upper right, when you go to share in the upper
Mhm.
right corner, there are three little things there. So you can share in a number of different ways. You can put yourself in like this, so you have the smaller thing
Yeah,
up
that's
there.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it hasn't
it's
been
cool.
there very long. It's a fairly recent. There are third-party things that also do that, but Zoom keeps looking at what third-party things are doing and puts them out of business. essentially.
As they
I'll have to
should.
look. I just saw I got updated and renewed, so I'm assuming it's in there somewhere. I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, I can even see it in the free version that I have, so
Okay.
it's
Cool.
in there. Just experiment. Well, Jody and Cameron and Tara, thank you very much for joining us this evening. I certainly appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
nice to
I'm
meet
sorry,
everyone.
learning and development. What's your name? I don't know.
Yeah, you can put your name and email in the
Mm.
chat, and we can get in touch with you.
Yeah. Okay. Guess she's
Interesting.
gone. She's gone. I didn't know who that
Oh.
was. So
Yeah.
Okay.
All
No,
right. Well,
she's still on the participant list here,
okay.
I think. But she may have
Okay.
stepped away from the
Okay.
computer and just left the word on there.
Well, thank you, John.
Yeah.
Thanks for setting this up, and Samuel, thank you.
yeah, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Right.
Thank you for being part of this.
I don't know if anyone who tells you like if they don't learn a lot. I know like the last one we did with Josh Cavalier, like I acted on everything that he said, and it's really changed like some of the stuff that I was doing from the AI. So this is super helpful. I mean, I sit by myself all day in a room with no cube mates, no people to talk with. So this is like you're like my cube mates, all of you. So thank you.
Well, yeah, I liked his presentation so much that I signed up for his course, and I'm
Yeah.
about finished, and I feel much better prepared to write prompts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run off, but it's been
Oh,
really
what's your name, by the way?
Michelle. Sorry. Hi,
Michelle.
Michelle.
Michelle. Oh, okay, great. Okay.
Michelle, hi, Michelle.
There you go.
Thank you.
I work
All
for
right.
the Humane Society in San Diego, so
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
and we're
great.
just upgrading our LMS, and we're all in I don't know, just go mode. So
Great.
you-
Okay,
as much inspiration as possible. So you'll see me again, I'm sure.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta jump too.
Thank you guys.
Thanks so
Bye,
much.
everybody. Thanks.
Yeah, have a good
Okay.
night.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thanks, everyone.